Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Miriam. Today, okay, I'm excited for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I've got my girl Mariadrea in the building.
Hi guys.
Okay, it's gonna be a good one. She's singer, songwriter, artist, music management for the likes of MHUNCHOS, all of the good stuff, big UK scene involvement in the industry. Okay, we've got to celebrate females in this game. I've got a couple episodes in regards to women in the music industry coming out. This is the debut. This is the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yes. You're the first, honey.
Oh
You're
no,
the
I didn't know
first.
that.
It's really important to me that we start celebrating and giving women in these male-dominated industries their flowers, because I feel like, I've been in a lot of different types of creative scenes, and it's so uncommon. Do you know what I mean? We don't really celebrate our wins anymore. Like, well, not anymore. I don't think it's really ever been a thing for us. You know, man, they'll hit their first milli or their first 1,000 views, and they're out there partying, doing their thing, drinks, popping bottles. With us, we're like, no, we need to go harder. We need to go harder. Up until like we feel like we've really made it. But I really want to start providing a platform for particularly women, because I feel like, men, you have enough. I mean, you can jump on if you want to jump on, but you have enough. Do you get it? This is for the ladies.
Yeah.
And, just start celebrating us. So thank you so much for coming
Thank you for
on.
having me. I didn't realize I was the first of this new kind
little
of segment.
Yes,
so I'm
ma'am.
honoured.
Yes.
What a privilege.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
How have you been? Talk to me.
Yeah, good. Like since I last saw you, just been working and writing, traveling a bit, enjoying the summer.
You see,
It's over now, but
listen,
yeah.
you see, when you have money, it's summer anytime. But let me tell you that.
Okay, well I haven't reached that.
No, but we gonna get there, honey.
It's coming.
But this is the aim of this life, because you see me when I'm balling, inshallah, with the praise of God.
Yes.
Okay, with God's blessings, because I don't want to jinx myself.
Yes.
Wintertime is summertime, because I'm not here.
It's true. It's true. It's
You gotta
true.
fly
When you have
out.
money, you can go find the sun elsewhere. So
How do you travel alone? Have you ever done that?
before this year, I had never been on a plane by myself.
Oh,
and then
wow.
this year I've kind of just been, majority of the flights that I have taken have been alone, which I was really anxious about before it happened.
Yeah.
But now it kind of just feels normal, which is weird.
Right.
Yeah, so like I've done like long haul this year by myself.
Okay.
I went to Toronto, I went to Atlanta by myself, and I was
Not
just
the
like,
ATL,
I know!
honey.
That was what an experience. But
Yes.
so my first time taking solo trips, and I'd recommend, when people say do it, take solo trips or whatever, I agree. Like it is a good
100%.
experience.
With me, I started taking my first solo trip when I was 16.
Oh really?
As soon as I said I can do it, my parents were like, go.
Oh, that's so good. Where did you go?
My first ever solo trip, I went back home, because I feel like my family wanted to test me out. Do you get it? To see if I can actually even make it back home. Do you know what I mean? So I went to Algeria for a month, and then after that I went to Tenerife. I've been to Portugal. I've been to France. Damn.
Oh wow.
All the small places that are not that far. Definitely want to do a big solo trip. Like I want to go. ATL has been on my hit list for a while. So is New York. Even though I'm not super fond of America like that.
Yeah.
But there are the places I don't mind going to.
It's true.
Because I feel like it's not too far from home. It's a bit more familiar. Do you know what I mean?
And it's a good place to visit. Like
100.
So you'll have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into it. I'm excited. I've got bare energy out of nowhere, but I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, I wanna. First of all, actually, quick question: have you ever been interviewed?
No, I don't think so. No.
How do you feel?
Nervous.
No,
I'm a bit scared, but
Why?
not about like the questions that you'll ask me or anything like that. Just more about me like going on the mic.
Like,
do you know?
word vomiting your life away.
Like, that's what I'm worried about. But yeah.
Safe space. Don't be scared. I feel like when a lot of people don't know this, but it took me 2 years to start my pod before I actually started my pod.
Oh really?
Yeah, purely based on like, it wasn't necessarily public opinion, but I know myself enough to know that I don't actually care. Like I will say how I feel, whether you like it or not. And then, but you get over it, and it's not because of like how people react or anything like that. You get over it because it's about you. Do you know what I mean? And no one can actually place judgment on your life or like your story or your journey or anything like that. So I definitely want to get into that. I want to know everything about everything. Like how, like what made you go into the music business? How did it all start?
Well, for me, like I've always wanted to do music. Like initially, I guess when I saw myself involved in music, it was as an artist.
Yeah.
I was like doing singing lessons as a child and whatever. And then I applied for the Brit School.
Okay.
I went there.
You went Brit?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did music there. And like off the back of that, I made a couple of friends there. We were like in a 3-piece R&B girl group.
Cute.
And in my mind, like that was how it was gonna. That was it. I was gonna.
She said, "Destiny's Child."
Literally. And then it didn't really work out, but not for the typical reasons.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, we fell out or anything like that. They're still very much my good friends.
We love that.
We love that.
We love to see it, honey.
Yeah. So, excuse me.
All right.
Yeah. So I was a part of a 3-piece R&B girl group, and then my parents were kind of like, you know, where's this going? Like, what's, you know, all of our parents collectively were kind of saying, you know, if by a certain point you aren't seeing results or promise of something happening, we need you to go to uni because like what are you going to be doing?
It's like there's no backup.
Yeah. And I think especially like with parents that like my parents are very supportive. It's never been a case of them like thinking, you know, oh, music's rubbish and but they do work in like a corporate environment.
Okay.
So it is hard for them to kind of understand sometimes that the process to get somewhere in the creative industry is not straightforward.
Yeah, it's not, there's no like direct blueprint. Yeah.
It can happen anyway. You
Anyway,
can go to uni, it can happen. You can drop out of uni, it can happen.
Yeah.
Like it just, if it's meant to be and you're putting yourself in the position for it to happen, then it can. So I had to go to uni, which was like, in my experience, a waste of time. 100%. I wouldn't say it necessarily is for everyone, but for me, it was. I hated it. It felt like, you know, what am I doing? But at the same time, I felt like, okay, if I wasn't here, what would I be doing?
Yeah.
And I had no clue.
Yeah. What did you do at uni?
So I studied, it was a music uni. So I studied creative musicianship was the name of the course, specifically in vocals. So it was just, I guess the whole like premise of the degree was about developing yourself as an artist.
Cool.
But it was just, I felt, let me not go bashing the uni.
Look, you can't listen. I'd just been done left uni.
It wasn't for me. I'll just say that. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like uni is one of those things, where unless you're gonna go down like a super academic route, I'm talking like doctors, lawyers, this, that, and the other. I feel like, go to uni, get that, because I don't want to ever go up to the doctor and you ain't got no degree, honey. Let me tell you that for free. Do you understand?
True.
But I feel like I did a film degree, because I come from like a film directing, creative directing background. And personally, I don't know, like I was barely there to even really form an opinion anyway.
Honestly.
And I just feel like I always said at the end of my degree that everything I did during those 3 years outside of uni has actually helped me develop my career way more than me just being in uni. And I think one of the things I'm grateful for is, even though I don't necessarily care for uni, and I think it was a complete waste of time and completely unnecessary for me as a creative, I was grateful for that like balance. Do you know what I mean? The fact that I could study and commit to something, but also do 101 things to develop that outside of uni.
Yeah.
Because the people know, you don't really know this, but I never wanted to go to uni. I tried to do an apprenticeship. My dad came to me. He was like, listen, you're the first one to go to uni, and started bawling his eyes out. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I will go, because it's important to do that for your parents. Even though people are like, don't go uni for your parents. I'm a bit about that, because you know my parents never had the opportunity to go to uni. Do you know what I mean? They had to come here and build a life over here from, you know, African countries that weren't striving, that took things from them because of the white man and all this sort of stuff there. So you gotta just sometimes do the thing. But if you know what you want to do and your heart's not in it, do it alongside that. Like now, you know, I graduate end of the month.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks, baby. I'm just excited for the robe, honey. I just want to pull up in the robe and just take my paper and
do
go.
That same boomerang.
Yeah, do you understand? The one that everyone has on the ground.
Yeah.
And then just to see like my parents be like, yeah, my daughter has a degree. Like it might not be in, you know, an academic route, but she has a degree and no one can chat to her. But yeah, let's go after uni. What were you doing?
So I left uni in 2018.
Cool.
And in my last year, I started working at the O2 as a security guard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
I'm a security guard.
Her.
So don't play.
As you should.
Yeah, so I was working like doing security and just like managing a few of like the lounges that they have there. And the thing about that job is that I love the job. I love the people there, the environment. Like it was working with my friends.
Right, yeah.
But it was so easy to get comfortable. And it was like, as much as I was making good money for what I was doing,
right.
I was in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, but how am I gonna do what I actually want to do?
Yeah.
And then like COVID happened,
Okay.
and I was put on furlough, so I was lucky, one of the lucky ones in that sense. And I was like, okay, so now I have all the time in the world. I don't have to worry about finance because I'm still being paid. I'm at home, can't really go anywhere. What am I gonna do? Like now's my opportunity to try to, you know, take advantage of this free time and get into what I want to get into.
Yeah.
So I had always been,
Okay.
I'd always been looking at like internships and stuff, and I realized that there were like majority of the internships were like in marketing that I would see in music. And being honest, it's not an area that I'm really interested in, but
100%.
my mentality was like, okay, I need to try to get my foot in the door kind of thing. So I did like a little online course that I paid for and in marketing, and then was like looking for internships. And then I saw an advert for Jackie Davidson Management.
Okay.
And she was looking for an intern. I was like, yeah, I applied for that. Got that job, and that was starting on the 1st of June in 2020.
Oh wow.
And then while I was that was like 2 days a week, and it was working like with her roster and just doing like social media type things for her roster. And then I was thinking, okay, so that's taking up 2 days of the week. Let me try and see if I can do something else.
Right, yeah.
And then like this is the kind of where like my story, I feel, in music really started.
Began. This is like your turning point.
Yeah, because I was like looking on, you know, LinkedIn, Indeed, everywhere, typical. And I was like, okay, let me see Twitter. Maybe there'll be something on Twitter. So one thing about me in general, I like to follow people that are in music. I don't have to know you, but it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll need a bass player. Maybe I'll need someone
100.
who knows like about, you know, PR and whatever. So if I see that you're involved in the industry and, you know, we have mutuals and stuff, I'll definitely like follow. So this started because on Twitter I was following Zion Richards.
Okay.
Who he's, you know, worked in music forever. He's got a crazy network. So I'd seen like loads of people that I knew him and only said good things about him. So I was following him, and he retweeted a tweet from an account called Uncle Quabs.
Not Uncle.
Uncle Quabs. Shout out to Uncle Quabs every
Shout
time.
Out Uncle, honey.
And he was looking. He is actually one of the founders of Mixtape Madness.
Bang him.
And they were looking for an A&R intern.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, hi. I saw that you were looking for blah blah blah.
Yep. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Exactly. So I interviewed for that.
Bang him.
And so after the interview, he was like, oh, you know, based on your musical interests, I don't feel like this is the right job for you, but I have another job for you that I feel would be, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure,
whatever you're willing to offer, I'll take it.
Exactly. And he was like, okay, well, this would require another interview with another member of the team, and the job would be to intern for MHUNCHO. And I was like, yeah,
hello,
sure,
yes,
yeah. So probably like a week later, I interviewed. Interview went well, and I was just waiting to hear back. And then I heard back on the 1st of July, 2020. So a month after starting my other internship, started this one.
Yeah.
I got the job. They put me to work straight away.
We love to see it.
And I was just like, yeah, just juggling both, but really like didn't have anything else to do. So it was like, yeah, cool. So I was doing both of those things at the same time. And going back to Jackie Davidson, she manages like a crazy songwriter called Wayne Hector.
Okay.
He's written like, you know, songs with Nicki Minaj,
Yeah.
like even Westlife, the ones that when we were little, like the Westlife songs.
Big up Westlife. If you
Yeah.
know about Westlife, don't kill
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Wow, that's
So
mad.
Wayne Hector is a big writer, and she Jackie manages him and has for most of his career, like I think all of his career. I might be misspeaking, but yeah. So I'd expressed to her my interest in songwriting, and she obviously gets sent like beat packs and stuff like that. So she sent me a beat pack, and she was like, "Okay, I'm setting you the challenge. Like, you need to write, and every week I want to hear a new song, and we're going to talk about it."
Banging.
So every Sunday I would send her the song. She would listen to it. She would call me and like spend time breaking it down. Like, this is what's good. This is what needs work. Blah, 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 blah.
That is so important.
So important. I feel like I owe her everything that like has happened since. She kind of laid the foundation for that to be able to happen. And funny enough, like I've never met her.
That's crazy.
It's a virtual relationship that we had because it was all through COVID. So I've never been in the same room with her.
The fact that like you managed to find somebody that has, all this success, all these credentials, like has had a big influence in the industry, period, and has given you like the time, like she's called you and spent time with you to like run you through everything and correct you, critique you, like help you perfect your craft is so important, because the industry, especially in the UK, whether it's music, whether it's the creative industry, whatever, I feel like is very, very tight-knit. Not a lot of people are willing to go the extra mile. Like people
to let new people in.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, might give you a piece of advice and might help you. And I don't think it's everybody's responsibility to help everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I think especially when you see that potential or you see that spark in somebody or how much they want it, take a little time out, because that could have been you, and it's something that is so important to maintain the industry and keep it going and almost like pass the baton down. Do you know what I'm saying? So shout out to her for doing that.
Shout out to Jackie Davidson, definitely. So I was doing that like every week for a couple of months. So I got a good few songs out of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then like my internship with her ended, and I continued to work with MHUNCHO. And then after like interning for a few months, I was made a permanent member of the team.
This is what we like to see.
So yeah, that was really really an exciting time to know that like I kind of proven myself and like secured my place working with him. And
what was like, let's say, the first few months, because you've gone from, working, like leaving uni, working security, doing an internship, landing a banging internship with somebody that is somewhat legendary, if I may, do you know what I'm saying? And then through that, you've managed to become a member of an artist team that is massive in the UK. Like, what was the first couple of months in that environment like for you? Like, how did you feel?
I think because of COVID, it was a bit different to how it probably would have been if I'd started now. Like,
it wasn't conventional.
Everyone was trying to figure out, how are we still gonna do shows, and it was like a time that's unheard of, like so I think it was a very unique experience because we were all trying to figure it out. But then as around the time when I was made permanent, he'd released DNA, which was a joint mixtape with Nave Smalls. So we were able to, like, the restrictions allowed us to do like pop-up shops and
banging.
So I got to like experience that for the first time. It was like a mini tour. We did like Bristol and Brighton, and people were traveling from wherever to come and see him. So that was my first experience, like getting to see how it works in the flesh kind of thing. So that was cool. And at times I'll be kind of like pinching myself, like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually being paid to be here to do this.
100%.
And there were times where I would like dream of being able to work in music, like,
right, yeah.
And it's like I'm doing this, and
you're doing it with somebody that is like established and made a name for himself.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's so important that people understand nothing in this life is out of reach. I think, we see like a celebrity status, or we see all these things, especially through like America, like they've kind of are the beginning to a lot when it comes to like the music scene, the film industry, stuff like that. And they've made their celebrities, they've put their celebrities, sorry, on such a high pedestal that I feel like people, regular people, you know, that want to make a career and a living and something from these industries feel like it's so out of reach. And you're somewhat, well, no, you're not somewhat, you are living proof that you just got to go for it and you never know what can come from it. Like, you basically did all of that in a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, when you think of it like that, like, you've achieved so much in a year. And on top of that, you're a singer, songwriter, like, you do your own and you have your own music. Do you know what I mean? You have that passion for yourself. It's not like this is just the be all and end all for you. Like, you want more for yourself, you have more for yourself. But the fact that you can even enter those circles and be successful in that environment is amazing. Like, I love that for you.
Thank you. Like, honestly, it's I know a lot of people suffered during COVID, but like, for me, it was like life-changing experience, because like, off the back of after DNA, he started to work on his debut album, which came out in, so we're now in October 2022.
Yes,
May 2022.
Yes.
So check that out, Chasing Euphoria.
Yes, sir. Check it out.
So I was there from the beginning of like, we did a few camps and he had like producers coming down, and my role was to like deal with the administrative side of things, logistics and that kind of thing. So just to be sitting in the room like with these producers that I've heard of and just watching it all happen, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And like, so the first camp that we did was in we like hired out a house in Kent.
Cool.
Crazy house, beautiful place.
Of course, MHUNCHO money, baby.
And we just had like, we had like Mira come down, and we had Mahalia come down, and like loads of different producers come down, and I was just sat there like, wow. And I thought to myself, wow, wouldn't it be crazy if I was like able to like sing something just cause like, do you know what I mean? And so M had said like he had a vision for a song that he wanted a female vocal sample on, and he was like, yeah, this is kind of what the feel I want to go for. And I was like, I'll do it. Like, I'll do it.
At that point, did they even know that you sang, or was it?
I think they did know that I sang, but
because it wasn't like your role.
It wasn't kind of
a thing.
And in my head as well, I'd kind of put that to the back burner, because I was thinking, okay, maybe, you know, like,
shift focus.
My role doesn't involve me singing, and I will always sing,
100%.
and that's fine. But maybe like I enjoy doing this. Maybe my calling is in management and like dealing with the business side of things. Maybe. So I'd kind of put it to the back of my mind. But I was like, do you know what? He said it. If this isn't God putting
100%,
God putting an opportunity right in front of me, then I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? So I was like,
that's if you don't ask, you don't get. So if someone says something, you better just hi.
And I was like I was the only girl in the room, and I was just like, surely I can try.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't like it, like he's well within his rights to not like it.
Right.
But I tried.
100%.
So he was like, yeah. Give it a go. I'm gonna just go take a break or whatever, because he'd been recording for some time.
Yeah.
So like, I'll come back in an hour and just see what you come up with.
Banging.
So I was like, do you know what? This is my time. Like, okay, all right.
Did you feel the pressure because of the environment that you're in?
Definitely. And I felt like I had to prove myself, like, you know, because undeniably it would be a bit awkward, if I tried. He thought it was shit.
Yeah.
Now he's got to tell me that he thinks it's shit.
Yeah. And then also you're
we still got to keep working.
Oh yeah. It's all a bit long.
So I was just like, oh. But do you know what? Can't worry about that.
100.
Worry about, like, if it comes to that, then deal with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he left.
It's a good thing he left as well. You've got a bit of breathing room. Like,
a little
you could
bit.
just
Yeah, thanks for leaving.
You could just reset it for a sec.
You know what I mean?
Not feel like no one's breathing down your neck.
Exactly. So I just recorded little bits and whatever, and then they kind of made it a part of the beat. He came back in the room and he was like, I never forget, he shook my hand. And
Oh,
he didn't even say anything. He
it's a
just shook my
sign of
hand. I was like,
respect.
okay.
Yeah. Inside, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shook my hand and I was like, oh, okay, he likes it. And he was like, yeah, this is it. Bang
him.
This is it. And it ended up being the first song on the album, like Unappreciated. So that vocal sample is just like me just faffing about.
Get
and
to
then,
know.
Yeah, so
Get
check
to
that
know,
out.
period.
Unappreciated. Yeah, so that was like kind of opened up another opportunity to me, because then like now he knows that like, oh, if I ever need a vote, like you're right here, you're part of my team, and he respects my talent, which I admire him for how he's treated me. Like he knows that I'm here to do a certain job, but he's not going to limit me because he knows that like we're a team. And if I win, he wins, and he does try to like nurture my talent when he can and when it's like relevant. So
and respect is everything,
100%,
especially when you're in an industry where it is male dominated. Like, and not that is a bad thing, but it's just one of those battles that we also just have to kind of get through. I wanted to ask about your confidence during that period of time. Do you feel like you were almost... Do you feel like it was courage over confidence? That's my question. Do you feel like you kind of just had to push yourself to do it, even though you weren't 100% there, like in your heart? Like you were nervous, you were this, you were that. Because undeniably, like no matter... With me, it's like no matter how much time I've spent with a certain type of person or people of a certain caliber, I will still forever feel a bit like, oh, if I was asked to do something to be a part of that project. Or even if I was given the opportunity to, even though I might have known these people for months and for years, like every time, you know, I meet people, like I've known Chucky, I've known like Specs for ages, Dan, all of those like forefathers, do you understand, of the game, okay? And I remember like when I had the opportunity to be on all their platforms, it's like I've made a friendship with these people. I've made a relationship with these people for months, maybe a year prior. But the fact that you've still like you want to have me on your platform, I was like, oh my God, like I mean, like it's cool because I know you now, but it's still like, oh, I was watching you guys for years before I even did my own thing, and now what, like a couple months of me even starting my thing, you respect me enough to have me on your platform. It's crazy. Like I get that, so I definitely feel it's one of those things, you know, when you grow up in an not in an industry, but in a way where things seem out of reach and and then you finally make it to a place where you're somewhat content and somewhat happy. You still kind of have that in a battle. Do you feel like that was something that you went through in that moment?
I still feel like it is something that I go through now, but it's a me problem. Like it's that imposter syndrome thing that everyone's talking about. Like you do, and especially because I felt like for so long it was never gonna happen. I was never gonna be able to do the things that I wanted to do. So as much as like you're feeling upset by that, there's comfort in knowing, oh well, you know, it just wasn't for me. But then now you're presented with an opportunity to be like, okay, well, if it could be for you, and it's scary to go for that. So when it was definitely not a confidence thing at all. It was very much like, okay, I have to try, because if I don't, then I'll regret it.
100%.
So it was just literally like, oh, like, F it, just do it, just try it. Do you know what I mean? That it was not a confidence thing at all. And I feel like there have been like multiple moments in my career up until this point where it's just been like, F it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, just do your because thing. What's the worst that could happen?
100%. Yeah. You know, one thing that I've been thinking about a lot, especially this year, nobody really talks about the fear of success. And I feel like, not that I'm anywhere where I want to be or whatever it may be, but I have, we thank God, accumulated a level of success within my career in a very short period of time. And I remember the first time, like, I was ever like recognized, I
Mm-hmm.
was ever on a big platform and stuff like that. I get really bad anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, everyone tells you, you know, this is how you deal with the negativity. Just take it with a pinch of salt. It is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. But no one tells you how to deal with the success.
Yes.
And I remember I literally had like a panic attack one time
Mm.
on my way home, like on the train, because I was like, and it wasn't from like a negative space. It was from like such a grateful space. But I was so overwhelmed by like all the love and all the hands that I was just being given.
Mm-hmm.
That I was like, wait, what? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like you said, you've thought about this and you've been thinking about this your whole life, most likely. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is where you want to be, this is what you want to do, and then when it happens, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's all of it. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's so important that it's something that's spoken about. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because you're here to be successful, and you should never fear something that you've wanted or you can potentially build and change your life or
Mm-hmm.
people around you forever.
Yeah.
But it's a very real thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, and like, I mean, after doing that first song with him, he would come to me for like other bits and bobs on the album. So like even on the album, I'm there 3 times, right?
Do you
Which,
understand?
yeah, one song is like CC featuring Mariadrea. My name's there, which is crazy to me.
Yes.
And when like the album came out, like after over a year of like you know, working towards it and it being out, I literally sat down and I was just like, what do you mean?
Yeah, you kind of
What
just
do you
got to
mean?
take it in for
All
a
from a
second.
tweet.
Words.
That's how it feels, like all
Yeah.
from a tweet.
Yeah.
And off the back of doing the album, I then like got offered a publishing deal, and it was like
Banging.
that one that blew my mind. Yeah, because I was literally in bed in May, sometime in May, and I was just in bed, and Quabs called me, Uncle Quabs, called me again, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, what are you doing today?" And I was like, "Oh, just nothing really." He was like, "Okay, well, there's a meeting at Sony,
big Sony,
which
you know?
which wasn't an uncommon thing because Huncho's
like,
publisher is Sony Publishing. So I'd been there before in a Huncho capacity, having meetings, whatever. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. What time? Yeah, 3:00. But the topic of the meeting today is Maria as a songwriter. I said, eh?
Sorry, what?
So what?
Say that again.
What do you mean? And I'm in bed, like I'm set up I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, cool. Trying to act cool.
Yeah.
I jumped out of bed. My mum was in her office next door.
Yeah.
And she was in a Zoom call and she's like, what? Like, what? And I'm just like, I'm going to Sony and they want to talk about me. And she's like, what? Yeah. Anyway, I go there that afternoon, and I'm playing my music to like one of the heads up there. And then she's like, yeah, cool. So let's have a tour of the buildings. These are so and so and so and so. One of those will be your A&R. And I'm like,
so
but
they're
hold
already
on. I was like, so we're already speaking like this is done.
Yeah, like that's it. You're here now.
It's finished. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
I literally walked around like,
me?
How is this? How has this happened?
Yeah.
All from a tweet.
That's actually insane.
So I mean, that's the position that I'm in now. Obviously, M's released his album. We're working on the next thing.
Banging.
So we're doing that. And then like I've got my songwriting stuff, and this year I've been able to travel because of it. So I went to Sweden for a writing camp that they'd set up.
Cool.
Met some crazy talented people out there, and you know, have got some good songs out of it. Excuse me. And then I went to Atlanta as well for an R&B and hip hop conference, and met some crazy people out there, like you know, and have these people as a part of my network now. And I just can't believe like this has happened.
Yeah.
But then as well as the joy that comes along with like being in this position, I also feel a lot of pressure that I'm putting on myself to make the most of it.
Why?
Because this is an opportunity that doesn't come by like every day. And sometimes there are days where like the pressure makes me stay in my bed.
It just makes
it's
you
just like,
crumble
I
today.
know I have stuff to do, but right now
Just
I'm overwhelmed.
yeah.
So I need to just
sleep today.
Yeah, which is not the most productive use of my time, but I do have days like that. I'm being honest.
You know what it is? It's, I think we come from like such a hard, consistent work ethic.
Sorry.
It's okay, I know you're fine. We come from like a crazy work ethic. We don't know nothing else but like work, hustle, that like you need to be okay with having those days. Like everyone has those days. I probably have them 3 times a month. Do you know what I mean? Like I will just not go to work. I have to stay in bed because if I move, I might have a panic attack. I might break. I don't know what's gonna happen. Something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's very important to just fully immerse yourself in your experiences. Of course, make the most of your opportunities. Don't ever get it twisted. But it's the idea of like work hard so you can work smart. Like you have built so much for yourself. Like your foundation has been done, cemented, and is there. Do you know what I mean? That now it's just about working smart. So like you can have those days and you shouldn't have to feel guilty about having those days, because when you're out of that, sometimes you just need a moment to just be in your feelings, and then that's it. Like it's like whenever I say to I say to anybody that ever asks me about, they're emotional and they're crying, I was like, look, something happens, you get 24 hours to cry about it, to scream, to run, to crack, to sleep, whatever those 24 hours, do whatever you want to do. As soon as that is up, get up, pick yourself up, dust it off, whatever it is. It's hustle time now. You got to get your shit together. Do you know what I mean? So definitely like have those days. It's okay to have those days because you've been working towards that moment your whole life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it still feels very surreal. Like another surreal thing that's happened. In Atlanta, I met a guy from Toronto. His name is Capital. Shout out to Capital.
Okay.
And he had mentioned to me that there's a song that he feels that like needs a female vocal and blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. So when I got back home, like he sent me the stuff and I worked on it. And a week later, a video was shot for the song. And literally last night, he texted me and he was like, "Oh, the song got played on Joe Budden podcast." And I was like,
period.
He sent me the video. I had a look at the video, and it's my voice in the video.
Period.
And they're like, "Yeah, this is major, yo."
Yes.
And I was like, "Huh? Me?
Yes, you.
Mad.
Yes, you.
Very mad." So
it's mad, but look, it's only up from here. Do you understand? Like even if anything ever happens, it's not a thing because you've built that for yourself. Like it's purely just we're making it, so we're gonna keep making it until we've made it. Do you know what I mean? That's amazing. That clip is on her Instagram, by the way.
Oh, you can check it out.
Check it out. Go to the Instagram clip first, so we know we can build up the algorithm and mentions there. And then if you want to go check it out on the actual pod, you can go do that as well.
Thank you. But yeah, that like, and there have been like so many little moments in life that have just happened like that, like where all the stars just seem to align. Like it's God, but
of course it's God.
The phrase, the stars align,
yeah,
and it's just crazy. Like what was one thing, like I said to myself on my vision board, I'm going to the Brits this year. I'm going to the Brits this year. I'm trying to figure out a way to get to the Brits.
Hey yo,
the Brits are getting closer and closer, and I'm like, it's not looking like I'm going to the Brits.
Listen,
I'm like, what?
The Brits.
This is not my vision board said I was going. So how am I not going? Then I get a text. Oh, are you available on this date and this date and this date? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, because it would be to perform with Dave at the Brits, closing the Brits.
Period.
And I was like, so I'm going to the Brits.
Period.
I didn't think that I would be on the stage.
Yes.
Especially on the stage of the venue that I've worked at for 5 years.
Yes, right.
Which was crazy.
It's like full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to the Brit school. So when you go to the Brit school and when you're in like year 13, they take you to the Brits to watch. So I remember watching it. It was 10 years ago.
And
it's
then literally full circle.
What is going on?
You see God.
these things happen. It's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah. Where are you at now? Talk about, like, I want to know about your career. What have you got coming? What's going on? Like, I want to know everything.
So at the moment, I'm just kind of just trying to write as much as possible. I have like, I guess, different artists that I would like to hopefully work with.
Everybody shout her.
Shout me, please.
Everybody
Like,
shout her.
I'm open to sessions,
Oh,
guys.
period. Duh.
We can work on something. So
Yes.
yeah, like there are so many people that both here and in America that I, have my eye on working with. But I'm just trying to write as much as possible and try to get into like even, songs for TV and film. Like that's another area of like songwriting that people don't tend to think too much
Yeah,
about.
100%.
But like there are songs that are just written specifically for
like a program.
a scene
Yeah.
in a TV series. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
100%.
there's money there too. So I'm trying to get involved in that.
100%. Get all the bags.
Yeah. So, and then obviously just juggling that with working with Huncho and just what he's got coming up and just being really excited about what's next for him. And yeah, just trying to stay busy. And like aside from doing the songwriting and the management side of things, I'm also like I do backing vocals for artists as well here and there. So
Cool.
I still got like doing bits and bobs with that. So it's just I always wanted to make my living off of music, and I feel so fortunate to be in a position where I'm making my living off of music in different areas that I love. Like it's the writing, it's the live performance with the backing vocals, it's the management, and it's just like I'm living in my dream, which is crazy.
That's it. That's banging. And it's important that you've actually mentioned all these different areas, because I think when you're younger, I want to be an artist, I want to be this, I want to be that. And we're so stuck on that one thing. And then when it doesn't happen for us through that one thing, it's like everything, your world crumbles.
Absolutely.
But be open to other sectors in the industry, because it could lead you to where you've always wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, there's a bag everywhere. Trust and believe, there's a bag everywhere. Like you said, there's music, there's like artistry, there's management, there's PR, there's A&R, there's production type music. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's film, TV, series, even documentaries. Do you know what I mean? Like
they need soundtracks too.
They need, baby, we got it. Do you know what I'm saying?
And yeah, sometimes I think like it's important to just get your foot in the door.
100, yeah.
It doesn't really matter
what door,
in what capacity. Do you know what I mean? Like just be in the room, get yourself in the room, and then when you're in the room, figure out how you can make the room work for you.
100%.
And like that is what I think my key takeaway was, like just play the long game as much as you can, especially like if you're young and if you have the support of your family, which I've been fortunate enough to have, and they're not like applying like crazy pressures on you, like if you have the space and the time and the opportunity to do it, then just do it, and then worry about the rest later. Like it will figure itself out. Do you know
how do your family feel now?
I was speaking to my little sister, and she said to me that she admires my persistence, because like for a long time there was nothing concrete to show for me wanting to do this. And like there were opportunities, like both of my parents work in like corporate, like banking side of things,
right?
And it's like, oh, would you be interested, like there's a job opening in banking, maybe I could put your name forward. It could, and like the money would be way better than what I was on. But I was just like, nah, I can't, because that's not what and I don't want it to take my time away from what I want to be doing. Do you know what I mean? So she said that she like really admired the fact that like even though it was not anything concrete that I could hold on to, I still had enough belief.
Yeah, self-belief is everything.
That I could turn down things that made more sense.
And I feel like the key thing there is this generation is very money motivated, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's very dependent on how you see it. I think the fact that you were able to turn down, like banking, accounting, whatever type of corporate job, that was very financially stable is like a prime example that, you know, you've always had that self-motivation, self-belief to be like, regardless of anything, I'm gonna do what I can to make this work. Do you know what I mean? Like, any means necessary, to the point where you declined, you know, a good paycheck, a good way of living. But what, a couple years down the line, you're doing what you love and making enough money to maintain your life and your lifestyle. So it's so important that that mentality is almost refocused. Money, you know, money is important. We need money to live and to survive and to live a life that you want to live 100%. But if you've got a passion and a goal, don't let the money kind of sway you.
But I agree. And that's exactly like my mentality. But I understand like the circumstances that I'm living in, as in like, I'm still at home with my family. They are very supportive of me, and not everyone has that. So I do understand like the privilege that I do have to be in that situation. So if you do need to work that job to be able to fund
100%,
your passion, you should absolutely
100%.
do that. But what I'm saying is, don't, if you can, if your situation allows for you to maybe make a sacrifice in one area to be able to invest more time or put yourself in rooms, then if you can do that, then do that. But 100%. I can also understand that that's not everyone's situation.
Of course. Like, I think there's a difference between like, I've always said it's okay to be a creative and work a regular job. Like, I work a normal job. Like, my family is very supportive of what I do. They're like my number one fans. But, you know, we don't come from a financially stable household. Like, you know, my circumstance could be very different to yours. I've got to have a certain amount of income in, because not all my income comes to, like, not all my income is to be funded into my career. A lot of it is for, you know, other household commitments or this and that and the other. So there's nothing wrong with working a regular job if it's going to help you boost your career. I think it's more about, if you're presented with an opportunity that is more financially desirable and it's going to take up all your time, and you have to make that decision of, okay, do I choose my passion or do I choose this for the sake of stability? I think there's always a way to make money. Do you know what I mean? Legally, there's always a way to make
legally.
Just real quick, yeah. I mean, whatever, do you understand? Yeah, I know people that do what they want to do in their life, but there's always a way, and I don't think those jobs are so time consuming. Do you know what I mean? And time is so precious. It's the one thing you will never get back. So find a balance. Find something that will be able to financially support you and all your commitments and whatever else you need, but gives you somewhat enough time to also like focus on your career, like perfect your craft. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people get to a point of, and it all comes down like I said, to self-belief. Like, if I didn't have self-belief, I could easily just stay in my full-time retail job and on my days off just be at home. But no, like, I'm filming after work, I'm filming on my days off. Like, I'm making the most of the time that I do have, because it's something that I have a lot of love for, and I see longevity in what I want to do. Definitely maintain the love and the self-belief that you have for your passions, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you going when you do have to work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. It's really true. And I think it's interesting though, because I don't know if I believed, if I'm being honest, I don't know if I believed
in yourself
100%. I just knew that I don't want to do that. So I think it partially comes down to like being stubborn.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But not stubborn because like I'm so sure that this is what my calling is. It was more like,
no,
I just know I don't want to do that.
Like, no, that's not for me.
That's not it. Yeah, so I feel like, if I'm being fully transparent, that was a big part of it for a time.
Yeah.
Because I did feel like a bum. Like, I was working, I had money, like I could take care of myself.
Yeah.
But because like I wasn't doing what I felt I needed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, okay, like this is embarrassing.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's just so happened that like COVID happened, and then like I was just like, this is my time to
Yeah.
try.
You're lucky you had that moment, like that switch, because a lot of people don't,
Mm-hmm.
like, and everybody has, their own struggles that they go through. But I think COVID is one of those things that either really helped people or
Mm-hmm. Or
really
really
didn't.
ruined. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, especially with creatives, a lot of creatives have lost touch with what they love because COVID just wasn't a good time for them.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing that you had that switch to be like, you know what? No,
Mm-hmm.
fuck this. Like, this is my time to figure it out because the world is on lockdown.
Honestly.
And now what do we do if the
Can
world
you
is on
believe we
lockdown?
lived in that? Like,
Ciao.
that is crazy.
We lived in a whole pandemic.
What?
For what, 2 years? A year and a half?
I
When we
said,
were
like,
on lockdown.
you go to the shop and there's nothing in the shop.
Oh my God, do you remember when people were reading the supermarkets when there was no toilet paper?
There's no toilet paper.
Oh my God, that was a scary time.
Yeah. The shelves were empty.
Emptied, bro.
It was like apocalypse.
Yeah. You know how like when you had those skeptics that used to always like prep and have like canned food.
Yeah.
I used to think, raw, maybe I should.
Yeah. And then I would open my pantry and my mom's just bought beans, like just beans.
Bare beans. Oh my, beans and rice, things that would last forever.
Literally, it's just like,
Please.
okay, well at least we know that we'll survive for a bit.
At least we got a couple of years in us. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a lot of beans in the cupboard, but
oh wow.
Yeah, that was crazy that we lived through that time.
Do you think you would survive like a zombie apocalypse?
No.
Really?
I'd be like first to go.
Not first.
Second.
She said, let me give myself a body. Really?
Second. The thing is, like, I don't know if I have that level of fight in me. Like, if
no, you see me, the warrior spirit will have to come out by force, by fire.
I'd just be like curled up in a ball and be like, it's so sad I'm going out like
no,
this.
don't care.
I'd just be like,
no. You're the one that like gets picked up in the group. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, literally, you're gonna have to be dragging me. I was
yes.
like,
no, let me die.
Yeah, because I'll be like, this is so sad. Like, I'd be like feeling emotional about it.
Yeah,
so while I'm there crying, the zombies coming. I'm just like,
oh no,
like,
guys, we
but
can't.
first of all, God forbid.
No, God forbid. Imagine, God forbid.
Yeah,
but. Nah, man, you see, zombie apocalypse hits, I'm on go mode.
Okay, well, I need to stay around you then. You just drag me.
Just shout me, baby. Oh my God. No, that's crazy.
No, I don't feel too optimistic about my survival in a situation like that.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. We just got to... Do you know what it is? You got to ride it out until you realise that that's it. This is just the new world. And it's just
but then
zombies.
when you see shows like, like The Walking Dead, I don't like watch it, but like, I get the concept. And it's been going on for how many seasons? I'm thinking... How are these people still like? I would have given like.
Yeah, I hear it because it's true. I think about that. Like, okay, say there's zombies about now. Like it's just their world now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's actually just their world. So then, are they ever gonna die? No. Do we ever get rid of it? Because it's based on a disease, isn't it? So if this disease is still spreading, it's forever spreading. How are we gonna get rid of this disease? It's actually mad.
Yes.
Maybe I wouldn't want to live.
This is the thing, because you're just anxious all the time. That's long.
You can't sleep. You can't give birth.
You can't do anything.
You can't make noise.
Nothing. And what are you eating? Beans.
Beans. For the rest of your life.
It just seems like really long.
It's just straight gains.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really see myself doing too well in that situation, but God forbid.
God forbid, honey.
Yeah.
God forbid. Okay. It's my favorite.
I don't know how we ended up there.
I don't know, but it happens. It's conscious conversations, baby. We go from the real truth to the fake
zombies.
Truth. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Right, it's my favorite time.
Okay, I'm very competitive about things like this. So.
I love that because I am the exact same. For those of you that are new to my channel or new to the pod or are listening via Spotify, at the end of the majority of my episodes, because I took a little break for a little while, I like to do a couple riddles just to, have some fun, maybe, test the people out.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's strictly banter. I am just gonna flick through Okay. I got 3 for you.
Ooh.
Is you ready?
Okay.
Okay. I am often brought into the battle, it's true. Through bullets and arrows go right through. I change as you travel around the world, inspiring pride as I am unfulfilled. What am I?
One more time.
You got it, yeah?
No.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm often brought into battle, it's true.
You're saying bought or brought?
Brought.
Brought.
Like they bring it
Yeah,
into
you bring
battle.
it into battle, okay.
It's true. Through bullets and arrows go right through. So it can
Okay.
yeah. I change as you travel around the world, inspiring pride as I am unfulfilled.
It's really hard.
Not hard.
Are there any clues?
It's a bit hard, I'm not gonna lie. This one. Think of like what does every country in the world have? Every country in the world it has a thing that when say like if we went to war, when I say we, if the UK went to war,
because me
I'm not going anywhere. Do you understand? But you see how these people are at war right now. Yeah. What do they bring to show that they're from this place?
Flag.
Yes, it's a flag.
It's a flag.
It's a flag.
Oh,
she was like a flag.
Wait, can I hear it one more time? Yes. Now that I know it's a flag.
I'm often brought into battle, it's true. So you know in battle they with a flag. Through bullets and arrows go right through. I change as you travel around the world, inspiring pride as I'm unfulfilled.
Oh yeah.
That was quite hard. I would have never got that.
But without your clue, I wouldn't have got it either.
But do you know what? It's mad. I do riddles for everybody. If anyone tried to do riddles on me, oh my God, the way I would cry because I'm not doing it.
Okay, so that's 1 point for me.
Her. Okay. The next one should be somewhat better. We'll see. In a place for the sick, that's where I'm found. All day I produce an unusual sound. If I take many breaks, you are perfectly fine. If I drone on and on, it's a very bad sign. What am I?
Is it the little heart monitor machine?
Oh my God, yeah, you got that. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
Listen, madam, she's coming for all of you. Period. Okay. Last one. I have roots, but I do not need sunshine to grow. If you don't cut me often, people will know. I'm many colors, maybe black, white, or grey.
Hair.
Oh my God, I didn't even finish it and she got it. You know what, yeah. Round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
Shout
out to me.
Oh, period. As you should. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I was so nervous, but this was fun.
Yes, I'm glad. Is there anything you want to put out there? Anything you want people to go check out? Whether it's like your personal stuff, MHUNCHO, whatever.
I'm on Instagram at Mariadrea, MARIADREA. And obviously always working to push MHUNCHO. So follow him too, MHUNCHO, MHUNCHO. And yeah, just follow us and like you'll see what we're up to. And
100%.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Make sure you guys do all of that. All the links are going to be in the description below. You know, go show love to all of MHUNCHO's work. Everything's out. Yeah. Everything's coming out soon. There's more stuff. They're always working. Mariadrea, of course. She's an artist as well. We got to show her love. I'm sure you've got things coming out at some point in the future. 100%. You got to hustle. I really hope you guys took a lot from this episode. Very inspirational, especially for the women out there. I'm here for you guys. Okay. Yes, peace and love, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you.